This week we are looking at expressions of will, cohortative, imperative, and jussive. The imperfect may be used to express the speaker's will to have a situation occur. This kind of use is called volitional, from the Latin to wish. In the first person, the volitional is the cohortative, and in the third person, and sometimes second person, mostly in negative commands, this is called the jussive. So for example, in English, we might say something like, let's go for a walk. This is the cohortative. Or in the third person, we might say, let her go for a walk. Now notice that the verb itself is not marked as an expression of will. You have to add the word may or let. Also considered as volitional is the imperative or the command. This is what is most often used for the second person command, although at times the second person imperfect may also function in this manner. So in the imperative, we would say, go for a walk. Okay, that's a command. The cohortative in Hebrew is formed by adding a comet's hay to the end of the first person imperfect form. So here we have a first person imperfect and then the comet's hay at the end. And that's a signal that this is most likely a cohortative. And so you would express it in translation with the word may or let. In this case, let me pass through your land. Or here again, let us make a covenant. In most roots, the jussive will look just like the imperfect. There will be nothing to distinguish it, although accordance will clue you in that that's what's going on. In some roots, and we won't really go into this, the form is shortened because one of the consonants is weak in some way. So for example, here we have, may the Lord judge between you and me. This is expressing wish or will. Or again, whoever is wise, let him observe these things. You are not making a simple statement, you are expressing some kind of desire. The imperative is kind of formed like the imperfect, except the little part that you put on the beginning, the preformative, is lacking. And the imperative is expressed as a command directly to someone. So here we have 3 in a row. Arise, sit up and eat. Or come, buy food and eat. These are all the imperative, and they will be expressed as a command. The imperative forms are never negated in Hebrew. They are never going to occur with a negative particle. Instead, the negative particles lo and all are used with the second person imperfect or jussive. The use of lo indicates a prohibition that is always in force. The use of all indicates some kind of urgency in a particular situation. So, for example, here we have from the 10 Commandments, do not steal. Notice that it uses the particle lo. That means this is always in force. It's a direct prohibition, always and forever. However, here, Abram, do not be afraid. This is a particular situation. It's nothing that is, always in force, but it's some kind of urgent command in a particular situation. For the negation of the jussive, the negative particles all and sometimes low are used as well as in the negative command. So here we have, let not each one leave his place. Okay, this is a negative desire that is being expressed. For negation of the cohortative, remember that's the first person, the negative particle all is used. So, let me not fall by a human hand. Let's take a quick look at how accordance marks these. In this particular situation, it tells you here that it's cohortative because it's a first person. In this situation, it is telling you it's a jussive. Okay, it's marking it as an imperfect, but a jussive. However, when it comes to marking the imperative, it just says, call imperative. Okay. And so accordance will be giving you lots of help. And by the way, it will sometimes mark the second person imperfect where it has a jussive sense as a jussive.